Which word of the day? Today's word is substitutiary. Adjective. Substitutiary in context refers to a conjured alternative. In Disney's Bend-Ups and Broomsticks from 1971, substitutiary locomotion is a particular spell that is used to bring inanimate objects to life. It consists of 5 words inscribed on an artifact called the Star of Astaroth, which once belonged to a powerful wizard named Astaroth. In attempting to take the star to London, it is learned that the artifact cannot exist in the earthly realm. Traguna, Macoides, Tracorum Satis Deepa, bum 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 ba da 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 da.
You haven't even read that?
Wait, what are you doing with the book?
So he has the confidence to finish the story.
Hear now the words of the witches.
This is Kevin, and welcome to Words of the Witches, the Charmed podcast that will guide you through the lesser-known published material in the Charmed universe and decide how it fits into the grand narrative of the TV series. Alright, so this episode is going to be a long one, I'm telling you guys right now, forewarning you. The book this episode is called The Legacy of Merlin. In the TV series, the unnamed wizard from We're Off to See the Wizard calls Merlin an overrated hack, and in Sword in the City, Mordaunt calls Merlin a myth. What will this book say about Merlin's legacy? Before we get started with that, though, I want to read another review we got, and it's 5 stars. It says, "Love, love, love the podcast. I listen to every episode, and I even participate in the games and the trivia. My one problem with it is I wish it was every week, Mr. Man. Ha 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 ha." And that's from Native Guy, my friend Will, and I met him totally by coincidence. Somebody tagged me in a Charmed post saying I was like the ultimate fan, and he kind of commented on it, and I showed him my collection, and we've been communicating ever since, and he's gotten back into Charmed, and he's starting his own collection, and he's doing really great, so I do appreciate that. As for why I'm not weekly, I did ponder it, but doing it bi-weekly ensures that I have enough content to last a few years at least. I feel like I would go through it way too fast if I did it every week. There'd be nothing left to look forward to. It also allows me adequate time to read the books and prepare. So when we start doing the comic books, then I will probably go weekly just because they're easier reads. They're quicker to go through. So in about a year, we'll probably go back to weekly. In the meantime, you can check me out weekly on my other podcast, Hanging with the Hallowells, where I'm watching the show episode by episode with my friend Sean, who's watching them for the first time. We started with season 6, and we're going until the end. So if you want to hear that every week, you can do that, and then come back here every other week. And if you want to leave a review, definitely go to iTunes, Apple Podcast, and try to leave a review there. If you don't use iTunes or it's not easy for you to leave a review, definitely check out Podchaser, and that is helpful too. So now we are doing book 8, and I'm going to introduce my darling guest, Ben, who is a host.
I'm trying to find the bloody book.
There it is. Yeah, co-host of Once Upon a Scream and Once Upon a Queen. It's an amazing podcast that I really enjoy. So that's awesome.
Oh, thank you. Oh gosh, I didn't pay him to say that, but that's very lovely.
Well, you're welcome. Yeah, it's true. I don't lie here.
I'm a big fan of your podcast too. I really enjoy it.
Thank you. I mean, I'm an amateur compared to the professional that you are right now. But
are you joking? Did you see the tech thing we just did 5 minutes ago?
Right. We did.
I'm like, where's the on switch? You know, what's a microphone? But yeah, thank you. I'm very happy to be here. I'm really happy to be here.
Me too. I'm so excited, and this is making me very happy.
Oh, good. Even though it's dead early there, and it's like.
Yeah.
What time is it there?
It's about 10 a.m.
Oh, that's not a time I know. It's 4:15 here, and that's you know.
Usually you'd have a drink about this.
When I start to stir. Yeah, exactly. I really. You know, I was thinking about it. I was like, would it be appropriate if I had a drink while you're like eating breakfast or whatever?
You know, mimosa.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can swear, can't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good, because I'm going to.
Be you, man. Be you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. You're going to have to tell me to shut up. I'll shut up so you can introduce stuff on.
So, and you're like an editor as your profession, so reading and stuff is like your thing, right?
Yeah. But I don't actually read many books anymore. Like, I guess it's the age of the internet and things. Like, it's mostly online stuff and articles and whatnot. So it was nice to have a book in my hand again.
Wow.
Like it really was, especially these books, especially one that filled me with so many sort of nostalgic memories.
Nice. Yeah, Charmed is good for that.
I'm still actually quite fascinated by like all the stuff behind you.
I know.
Because I've seen pictures of your Charm collection, but I've never I'm having a proper look at it now, and it's quite something.
Yeah,
I mean, you're very nice to look at as well, but I'm trying to see like around you.
Right. There's lots of stuff, and there's more underneath, and yeah.
I'm so here for it.
I need to do like a video where I like just go through each item individually and in depth, and it would be like a 4-hour long video probably, but
yeah, and I would watch that. Is your book of shadows like it? Is every page like,
every page? It's a full replica. Yeah.
Shut up. Does it magically move as well, like the real one?
When I throw a fan in front of it, yeah.
Nice.
I've done videos where I'm like, let's blow the fan on it, and it's beautiful. I'm like, what the magic is happening?
So Once Upon a Scream is a Disney and horror podcast that we started. Me and my friend Mikey started about 3 years ago. It really came out of conversations with gays, to be honest, because we suddenly realized that all these well, not just gays actually, sort of members of the LGBTQ plus community, all saying they're fans of escapism, and obviously, well, I guess we'll get into that with Charmed, but Disney and horror, it's two different ends of the spectrum, but it's still kind of escapism, and a lot of people love that. And so we started this podcast, and 3 years later, we've managed to keep it going. And we do sort of a spin-off podcast that's all about RuPaul episodes, because there's not enough of those out there. and as you said, Patreon, we do we have some people we have people from all over the world that listen, and it's great. And they were asking us for a long time if they could have sort of bonus content and exclusive content, and as you know, it's quite time consuming running a podcast. So we sort of had to try and figure out whether we had time to do it, and eventually we did. And we do this exclusive series which we call the Shit Review, where we literally take like gutter horror films and review them and like read them to filth. But it's really fun. I really enjoy doing it. And then we also do like a bonus episode series as well, which is cool. And we do merch, and it all sort of comes with the tiers. But we're very lucky that people have been so supportive of it.
You found your niche. Yeah, I mean, and they're great. They're a lot of fun. So how did you discover Charmed? Like, where did that come into your world?
So it's a weird one, actually. So those who listen to my podcast know that I'm like a massive Buffy fan. Huge, actually. Like, it'd be my mastermind subject, like the way you are with Charmed, I think I am with Buffy. And that came about because when I was growing up, I pretty much watched whatever my mum watched. Like, if she was watching something, I mean, she just let me watch it. It's terrible parenting, really, but she'd just let me sit there at 8 years old and watch this stuff. And Buffy and Charmed and even like Golden Girls and things like that. She used to love watching. I mean, maybe she's a homosexual, man. She hasn't told me. But so Charmed was one of those shows. And it was on here in the UK. It was because it was on the WB in America, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So in the UK, when I was growing up, it was all the new episodes came on this sort of cable channel called Living TV.
I remember.
Okay.
Because I was very into like getting Charmed on the internet, so I always download like these commercials from Living TV and trailers and stuff. Yeah. So
oh my god, it was the campest channel you could imagine. Little closet in the closet Ben was very drawn to this channel for obvious reasons. So right. That's kind of how I got into Charmed, and also just generally, I've always been really into shows with strong female leads, and shows like Charmed and Buffy. You take a lot of strength from those kind of women, and I definitely did. So yeah, they provided me a lot of comfort during my my early years. So I have a real special connection with Charmed and all the women in it for very different reasons. But yeah.
Yeah, it was with me too. And I think it was for me. It was like the magic and the family, and I always kind of liked that in my life. And because I had my family and my siblings, and I was like trying to keep them all together, and we're one.
Were you one of those kids that like pretended he had magical powers off the show?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you might be. I got to like this sense of delusion where I generally thought I was a witch because of this show. I was like, yeah, it was pretty wild. And I always wanted Prue's powers because she always looked the coolest with, doing what she did.
She had the right attitude. She acted. Shannon is like that actress that's like, she's committed and she works and she does it. So,
I think she's my favorite.
Mine too.
If you're going to ask me that.
Well,
okay, yeah,
she's mine too. And you met Shannon. Talk about that story.
I did, yeah. Is she the only one you haven't met?
She's the only one I haven't met.
I think you said that to me.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Everyone else I've gotten a chance to, but not her. So
yeah, I met her at it's weird, like because I interview a lot of celebs from my living. So I didn't meet her through that. I actually met her as a fan at Comic-Con in London. Because I'm from the UK, by the way, everyone.
Surprise.
Yeah. Oh my God, I feel so much better coming out. Right. And yeah, I queued for ages with all these other Charm fans to meet her. And I think I had that. I think I bought one of those photos that like one of the classic like Charmed promo photos where she's wearing like she's just so fit, like wearing nothing. I love it. It's just like,
yeah,
like casually like going for breakfast in a bra. I'm like, yeah, bitch. And anyway, so I had this picture of her, and I went up to her, and I think it was literally, I was probably 23, so it might have been the year I came out. Actually, I basically said something to her that was the equivalent of, you being this bitch has made me this bitch, so thank you. She like cackled. She had a really like dirty laugh, which I loved. and yeah, she was so cool. She was really chilled out, really like not one of these snooty kind of Comic-Con people. She was just really cool, and it was just a joy to like just be chatting to her one-on-one, because I pretty much love everything she's ever done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh,
she
I love
was
that.
cool, man.
I feel like I should be.
You'll meet her one day.
One day, yes.
Oh,
I guess we can like get to what we were supposed to do, because we can just chat all day.
Oh yeah, fuck.
we have this book that we're supposed to talk about today.
No. But it's weird for us because we've never spoken in person like this.
Right.
So I like everyone else is just gonna have to wait while we catch up.
Exactly.
And then we'll talk about this book. This is what I do on my podcast. I just tell people, what I'm in the mood for.
Yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. There's all these other priorities.
It's fine. Exactly. But saying that, it is a good book, and I haven't read it for maybe 20 years, maybe 15 years. Same. So yeah, it was a throwback, and I have lots to say about it.
Oh, I'm excited to hear. All right, cool. So this book is called Legacy of Merlin. It was written by Eloise Flood and published April 3rd, 2001, with a reprint on June 4th, 2001. But you know what's funny is this book actually came out like less than a week after May 17th, 2001, which was the season 2 finale.
Oh.
It takes about a year to finish a novel from conception to printing.
Right.
So that makes sense why there's a lot of discrepancies in some of these books, like with the lore of the show.
Yeah.
So that's just good to know going forward, I think, reading the rest of these books, that it takes about a year.
Yeah. So, like, narratively, where is this book in the Charmed? Like, it's somewhere in season 2, right?
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you asked.
Was that what you were going to say next?
I always give the kind of where it takes place. This takes place between Ex Libris and the season 3 premiere. So Ex Libris was the 19th episode of season 2. So the front of the book, Legacy of Merlin, it has season 2 picture. This was actually one of the earlier season 2 promos they used. I remember the poster of it, and they always kind of look like vampires in this picture to me. They look all very. I mean, they have more.
They look like they're in the craft.
Yeah, they have like that dark, they have like a darkness but a lightness. It's really strange. Very, very romantic
Yeah.
though. Very moody.
It's the 90s Lippy, I think, that's doing it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute gorge. Loves it.
Yeah. So that's them, and then it has like this little, what was that, a posy, a little flower. There's little petals falling over them.
Oh shit! I didn't even notice that.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, when you analyze these books when I'm here, and then there's like little transcript behind them too. There's like this little manuscript with like writing on it.
Yes. Sexy. All right. I've never noticed that before.
You're welcome.
God, I am not a stickler for detail, so I think you're gonna find when we go through this book, I'm gonna be like, who? Oh yeah. Oh what?
Has the tag.
I'll try my best though to contribute something.
Oh, I'm sure you'll do fine. Yeah, it has the tagline: "Ancient times weave a magic spell," and then the back says, "White robes under the druid moon. Midsummer's Eve is coming soon. Spells enchanting call the power to work dark witchcraft in the hour." Prue lands a summer trip to England to buy medieval books for a collector, so Phoebe and Piper tag along to the quaint village of Hay-on-Wye in the heart of King Arthur country. While Piper reads how to make love charms from flowers, Phoebe meets the darkly handsome Niall. Niall? Is that, I don't know.
Niall.
Niall, thank you. I knew you would know that, so thank you. But she's shaken by
I only know that from One Direction, I'm afraid.
Oh, all right. Well, it works. It's very helpful because I did not know that.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's shaken by a desolate vision of him on a wind-swept heath, holding an infant. Is Niall a warlock? Then Piper discovers a secret druid ritual in progress with Niall at the center of it. She freezes the group, and the Charmed Ones set out to discover Niall's secret. They learn that a local villager is in terrible danger from the Druids, and only a magical spell from centuries past can save her. The Charmed Ones are convinced that only a long journey can win against the Druids. A voyage back in time to Camelot. Well, they should give away the whole plot of this book in the back of that book.
Yeah, what the fuck? I didn't even need to read the book.
I know, that was like everything.
Oh my god. And look, she gets the geography wrong in the first two lines. Prue lands a summer trip to England, blah, 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 quaint village of Hay-on-Wye. I mean, it's about 300 miles away and it's in a different country, but okay.
Sure. I looked it up. I'm like, this is nowhere near London. Like, this is totally
no.
So,
but I forgot it was set in Wales.
I sent you my book summary that I kind of did bullet points for, and we are going to share the responsibility, bounce back and forth, summarizing that, because I get tired of hearing my own voice for the entire show. So this will be really nice to break it up a bit.
So you want me to do your podcast for you? That's what you're saying, isn't it?
just half of it,
Ben, just get on with it, will you? Stop moaning about geography.
Yeah, because most of my guests have preferred that I just kind of take reins and just go over it, and they jump in when they want to say something. But I just feel like it's more exciting to listen to when you break up.
Yeah, fine. Let's have a chat. Let's share the love. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We start off in a mini bus shuttle from the airport. So I'm trying to figure out how they would have done this, like where they would have flown into.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
I'm thinking Heathrow or Gatwick, and then that would have been about a 7-hour drive to Wales. So maybe they did fly into Wales, but
and then take a shuttle bus.
Yeah, the thing is, they go on about how the sisters are admiring the English countryside. So if they are driving from London, that's fine. But if they're not, then
okay,
whatever. And they're gushing about Arthurian legends, so King Arthur and Merlin and all that jazz. Phoebe's very excited about it, and it because she's studying this. Apparently, it's a very niche course. She is studying this at the moment. So basically, they're there because Prue is collecting some like rare books or something from Hay-on-Wye, and the girls just decide to come on holiday, and which fair enough. If she's coming to Wales, it's a beautiful country. Why not? And do you know what? I think it's so funny because when I was little, I remember reading this book and thinking, oh my God, I would have loved the Charmed Ones to come to the UK in an episode. That would have just...
Oh my gosh,
blown.
Yeah.
There could have been so many things they could have done. They could, I mean, they went down the Camelot route. They could have gone down like, you know, London's history route and Jack the Ripper and all that kind of stuff. It would have been so cool. Yeah. So Prue's on assignment for this dude called Lord Claiborne,
which
go on.
He is actually a character that appeared in a previous book, which is kind of interesting to note.
Oh, really?
He was
covered already, or
he was in the second book, Kiss of Darkness, while she was working for Bucklands. And so I was wondering about that too, because like at this point, she's no longer working for Bucklands, but she must still have a relationship with Lloyd that she's like doing a favor for, or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, because she's technically a photographer now.
She's a photographer now. The last book had her as a photographer. But I guess Lord Claiborne was something she met while she was working for Bucklands, and she is doing like a freelance gig for him, I guess, getting these collectors.
Yeah. So. Oh, she's so fucking cool, isn't she?
Yeah.
Anyway, they're on their way to the Trelawney Hotel in Hay-on-Wye in Wales, where they will be staying. Phoebe, is basically she's getting very excited about this trip. And she's like, thinks she's going to meet King Arthur. Yeah, she's studying Celtic mythology, and she goes into this bookstore called, and I'm not even going to begin to pronounce this because I do not speak Welsh. It's a Welsh bookstore name. That's all I'll say, because
Care Witter. This is my American.
Care. Oh, so we are. Okay, let's butcher it. Fuck it. Care Wider. Yeah. Anyway. Something like that. And Prue and Piper walk to meet Reese. Prue's contact that could have the book she's looking for and a client, but this is just scene setting, really. Like, we get this sort of like on the way. Piper is sort of, this is where I was trying to figure out where we were in the charm narrative, because she was woeing over her Leo troubles, which are, you know, they're quite rife in season 2, if I remember correctly, with Dan and whatnot.
Yes. Yes, we'll get into that a little bit more if you want. But
yes. And she's bitching about what she used to bitch about, which is that he always puts work first above her, which he always did a little bit, didn't he? So she's not very happy with that. So she's seeing this as a bit of a relax away from, you know, her man. Then we have Prue at her meeting. Piper's browsing the books in these little quaint bookshops. And Piper finds one about making love charms with wildflowers, flowers that grow in the sort of local town. And she decides she's going to play with the idea, which is fucking stupid, because have these girls not learned by now not to fuck with love spells?
And like this for me, like, Piper would not be the one to ever do anything with a love spell. She only ever did it. This is
a Phoebe storyline.
Phoebe thing. She's only ever gets involved with love spells if she's egged on by Phoebe, or if somebody does it for her, like they do in like Prince Charmed. Plus, she just got over her Dan and Leo troubles. She just chose Dan. She just chose Leo after a whole crazy season of whatever. And I don't.
Sorry, I thought you said the feedback. Then I thought you said she chose Dick.
I mean, either way that works, right?
I was like, honey, I would have chosen either Dick. No, but it is. You're right. It's not a Piper storyline, and it's kind of annoying actually, because I think the author obviously just wanted to give Piper something to do, because she doesn't really do anything, Piper, in this book, apart from freeze a bit. But yeah. Anyway, so anyway, she's gonna fuck around with a love spell. What could go wrong? Phoebe is very excited in this own bookstore on her own. It's full of ancient magical books. And they all seem to be but they all seem to be in sort of different languages. She's trying to like decipher her way through it, I guess. She picks up this one book and she drops it, and in true Charmed story fashion, she drops it right in front of a fucking gorgeous hunk of a man. And apparently I like the description, because they kind of make him sound like some sort of sexy young Ozzy Osbourne or something.
Totally.
He's like, well, he's described as he's a man in a ponytail and tight leather pants, which I like. I mean, you know, I appreciate the description there. What's your name? Eloise?
Yeah.
Anyway, picks up he sort of picks up this parchment that fell, and does he pick it up or does Phoebe pick it up? I can't remember.
Well, pretty much, he picks it up first. He looks at it, like puzzle, then drops it back down.
That's right. Okay. Anyway, they have like this moment, and obviously because it's Phoebe, she's like turned on already. Which fair enough. I mean, they make him sound sexy as fuck in the book. So I mean,
right.
I'm kind of here for it. Phoebe touches his arm, and obviously she has a vision. She sees him just sort of weirdly carrying this baby, and she feels all these weird feelings of love. So yeah, Phoebe, a lot happens to Phoebe in the first chapter. She's basically, her holiday romance is well underway. Okay, how was that? Was that okay?
That was perfect. See, you're a pro. I told you. I knew you would be a pro.
Oh, thanks. I'm quite good at reading, actually. I'll leave chapter 2 to you then. I'll pass over the reins.
Okay, chapter 2. Here we go. So Phoebe comes out of her vision with the hot man and the shop clerk there. They're all like, picking her up, like, "Are you okay, dear?"
Oh yeah, she faints.
Yeah, she like faints and then comes back, or maybe it's just her like falling over when the permission comes. So she comes out of the vision and she's helped up, and then she starts to flirt with the man because obvious, that's what you do. He's like, "I'm Niall," and then the clock bongs. He's like, "Oh, you know what? I have to go." And so like planning a date while he's running out the shop. She's like, "Hey, how about let's meet for dinner? Let the whole world know where you're gonna be." That's fine.
They sound like they're in a town with only like one restaurant though, So I think maybe it's one of those vibes.
Hay on Wye is like a town known for the bookstore, books, everything. That's what I remember in my research. So that makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah, it's very pretty, and it's very known for like old bookshops and old antiques. And
kind of like that quaint, like Bell Village, right?
Yes, yeah.
So that's what I feel when I think about when I.
That's what Belle was singing about. She was singing about Hay on Wye. Sorry.
So Prue stops at a produce stand now, and she goes up and she tastes a strawberry from this old merchant named Mrs. Jeffries, and she's suddenly reminded of making strawberry rhubarb pies with her mom, which I think that's nice because we don't get a lot of backstory of them with her mom. So it's cool that we have like this.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that nice thing. And then it talks about how she was killed in a swimming accident, quotation marks.
Yeah. God, that's less nice.
That's less nice. But we all know that demon, that water demon. But it's cool that's consistent in the book. I'm glad that they're at least doing some research here. Yes. Cool.
It also helped me realize where we were a little bit. Little mentions like that. I'm like, okay, well, after that episode, great.
Mm-hmm. Well, even in that 70s episode, they talk about how she's drowned.
Phoebe, you are such a fan. I loved it.
So Prue goes back to the hotel after her strawberry friend. It just came to me. You love it? I know.
I love it. Let's call her that. And the other guy's called Ozzy.
Yeah, Ozzy and the strawberry friend. Cool.
Yeah, love it.
And she goes to the hotel. She finds Pepper with her flower book on the bed. And Phoebe's like in front of the mirror getting ready for her date. She's like, I had a premonition. I'm not sure if it was my baby though. And people are like, what?
She is such a Kino, isn't she? She's like, how long has she been here for? Like 5 hours. We're probably gonna have twins.
Yep, it's meant to be. It's destiny, Then Niall arrives. They're talking about it. He just arrives at the hotel right on time to pick her up. And Prue's like, "Oh, hello. Why don't you come in and have a bottle of wine with us before you leave?" Because she wants to really grill him out and see what kind of guy he is. They question him and they get a feel for him, and then they learn he's an Arthurian legend scholar,
which really sets Phoebe off. She's already not playing it. She is not playing this cool at all, but now she's losing it over this guy. He sounds really fit though.
He does.
He sounds sexy as fuck. They go on about his muscles, like pec muscles, a lot in this. I'm like, I have to open a window.
I know. It's a pretty common trend I'm finding in most of these books. Because I think these books were meant for 13-year-old girls. When you think about it.
It's for gay and bi guys, Yeah. We're on it.
Yeah, totally. So, so Prue has bad feelings about him. She's like, oh, I just don't trust him. And then Piper thinks that she's overreacting. They debate about, if they think it really was Phoebe's baby that he was stealing in her vision, or is maybe he's just trying to if he found this baby, he's going to give it to somebody else. They're just debating this baby situation. And then we have Phoebe on her date, and they go for Indian food. That's something. Indian food is very popular in Britain.
It is. I love Indian food, but I would say it's a choice for a first date. Phoebe she likes to put out, yeah, from what I remember. So I'm thinking Indian food, honey, maybe not the right choice.
Right.
First date. But it sounds great. I mean, I'd let him take me wherever he wanted to. So
we'll make it work.
So yeah, but it's very popular here. It's massively popular.
Yeah.
Here.
And I really love Indian food a lot. I get it quite a bit here. But when I was in London, it's like every corner was another Indian restaurant. I'm like,
oh yeah,
wow.
especially like in London. It's this conversation is making me horny and hungry. So let's just carry on.
Story of my life there. All right.
Hungry, horny, and thirsty. Moving on.
They take a stroll after dinner, and Phoebe asks him about the legends. She's like, so what do you think about the Arthurian legends and King Arthur and Merlin and stuff like that? And Niall like goes on about Merlin. I'm going to read what he says. He said, Merlin was a druid, someone who practiced the old magic, the magic of oak, ash, and thorn, the magic of the standing stones. Merlin was the greatest of the druids. His power was unrivaled. So like that is kind of a poetic way of saying it. I like that. And
that was cool.
Yeah, and druids were known as like the oak. Their trees are like their big thing. So that is pretty spot on there. But Phoebe is like real horny at this point because of the Merlin talk.
Phoebe is like, shut up about Merlin and put your sword in my stone.
They share this passionate kiss. They get a little, they get the goose tingles, the goosebumps.
Oh yeah. Oh, he gets a bit handsy, doesn't he? From what I remember.
Yeah.
Nice one.
So after that, they call it a night and they decide to see each other again tomorrow.
Yeah, boy. Right. Okay. This is chapter 3. They're not having cafe at breakfast. They're having breakfast in a cafe.
Thank you.
And Phoebe. Yeah. Sorry. And Phoebe is totally enamored with Niall, and she loves that he was going on about magic, and she's like, oh, maybe he could be the one, and all this jazz. And the girls are getting a bit worried that she might have blabbed about the witch thing to him just to get some dick. She didn't, but I think they were worried about that. Prue thinks Phoebe is being played, obviously, because Prue loves this storyline. All like for the 3 years she was on the show, she hated everyone, and we loved her for it.
Yeah.
Piper, as usual, is mediating. I love in these books that they kind of have to assume some people haven't seen the show, so they have to really quickly lay out their personalities.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it is funny in situations like this when real fans read it, we're like, yeah, we know. Like, yeah,
right.
Okay, and basically Prue just says you need to be more careful and calm down. You don't know who this guy is. Later, Prue passes the same sort of produce stand and sees Niall with another woman, and of course,
scandalous.
Yeah, and of course, Prue fucking loves this because Prue loves being right.
I know. She's like, I'm gonna catch him in the act. I'm gonna stuff it on Phoebe's face that I was right.
Yeah, she was like, you bastard, I fucking knew it. Prue turns into a little bit of a sleuth now and goes and talks to Mrs. Jeffries, the strawberry lady.
Strawberry friend.
Yeah, she notices that Mrs. Jeffries is quite rattled by the woman that Ozzy Osbourne was with. Apparently, she was asking questions that reminded her of the time of the Druids, which obviously has set Prue off, because now Prue's like, oh, he must be a warlock, she must be a kind of evil witch or whatever. But anyway, Phoebe comes back from her second date with Niall that night, and because obviously Prue went and told Phoebe this, she did ask Niall about the other woman he was with. And Phoebe tells her sisters that the woman in question is named Diana, who, by the way, is very beautiful. Apparently, she's got long red hair. I imagined her very like Merida.
That's what I was thinking. Oh my god, I was totally thinking that. So we're on the same page.
Okay, cool. We're on the same page. page 32. Phoebe she basically says, oh no, it's absolutely cool. This woman's named Diana. And Niall's basically just staying with her, and apparently Phoebe met her on the date. But Prue is like a dog with a bone, and she's still not having it. She still doesn't trust Niall, but she doesn't want to argue with Phoebe anymore. So sort of decides to let that go. The next morning, we kind of get this B plot with Piper and her love spells. Quite nice though. We go through all these like pretty flowers, and she went for like I don't know much about flowers. I'm not a plant gay, but it was quite nice. It was quite serene to imagine. But anyway, while she's looking for this flower called bloodwort, she hears chanting, and she sees these sort of two giant stone structures, I guess like Stonehenge.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
With very druidy, with people holding hands and chanting, and she sees this kind of green glow. And in the center is Diana with this man. Turns out to be Niall, so something weird is going on.
While Piper is watching this crazy ritual go down, she steps on a twig and it snaps, and she's like, "Oh, like I just made a noise. I better get out of here."
It's so Scooby-Doo, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, I hope they didn't hear that. And then one of the druid men goes, "Who's there?" And she's like, "Oh, well, yeah. I'm just going to freeze you and run." So
Piper did a classic freeze and run.
Now Phoebe is at the hotel. She steps out of the shower. Yeah, she sees Prue in the living area of the hotel, like in a chair. And she's like, I don't have any work to do because my client is actually, or my dealer is out of town. So yeah, I'll just stay home. Prue and Phoebe have a nice little sister moment. They're going to have a nice little time on the town, a little day out, seeing this little village.
Yeah, stuff. They need some bonding though, don't they?
They do. And that's always nice. I like some sister bonding, some Prue Phoebe bonding.
Same.
Prue takes Phoebe to see Mrs. Jeffrey. She's like, I'll introduce you to my strawberry friend, and we'll have a good time. But she's nowhere to be found. Prue's just like, let's just go to her house and make sure she's okay because she could have fell or something. She's old.
Yeah.
So they go there and they kind of like walk inside the cottage and investigate. Phoebe touches a rocking chair and she has a premonition of Mrs. Jeffries like staring, like petrified, as Diana is standing in front of her. That's not a good omen. So Phoebe is now like, okay, maybe Diana is bad. But she's afraid that Prue will now automatically think that because Niall was involved with Diana, that he's bad too.
Phoebe needs to really calm down because at this point she's not known this man for 24 hours. Do you know what I mean? So It's like he really could be quite a threat to you. But let's face it, Prue is right most of the time.
She is. She really is. Yeah, but Prue is actually, remains gentle with Phoebe, and she says, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. I just hope he isn't bad. So now Piper is rushing back to the hotel. So they all reveal their discoveries. Prue and Phoebe are like, yeah, we have this permission of Diana with Mrs. Jeffries. Piper's like, I saw them both at this ritual. Something is going down. And Phoebe is all sad that she's like, oh, Niall was with her, huh?
Oh, Phoebe.
But then Prue decides to call Daryl. Daryl! Yay! We love Daryl.
Yes, Daryl.
So yeah, she's gonna call Daryl to have him kind of do some background checks on Niall Oldman. Is his name Oldman?
His name's Niall Oldman.
Yeah. I know.
How did I just notice that? Oh, come on. These books are hilarious. I love them. Okay. So next chapter, Daryl is like, oh yeah, fine, I'll look into it. I'll pull some strings. And they go to scope out Diana's place to see what she's up to. They get to Diana's place, and they kind of do like a weird Charlie's Angels thing to try and get in. They're like playing dumb, but kind of flirting with him at the same time. And he falls for it, and he basically tells them everything about her, which he says Diana is totally into druid magic, which is like, oh, I knew it.
Yeah, I saw her with some books, and I saw her chanting. Totally, it's like,
I was like, now that you mention it, she was flying on a broomstick. Yeah, and re Niall, he just says that Niall has only been around for a few weeks, and that he's noticed that Diana and him have been fighting a lot. He doesn't really know about what. So yeah, later in the garden behind the hotel, we now go back into this B plot with Piper and her flowers. And yeah, Piper's arranging all these flowers into a heart. And I believe she recites a spell to like activate it.
Just willy-nilly. She's like, I'm just gonna read this.
Yeah, she's like, fuck it, what could go wrong? Like, we've never had a problem with this before, so let's just do it. And an older man called Sir Andrew is swanning around the hotel, and she met him earlier actually in the bookshop, And basically, as soon as she recites this spell, funnily enough, he becomes very friendly with her. Like, I mean, this is your classic charmed love spell story gone wrong. It just plays out exactly like that. And Piper, it takes her a while to kind of think something's not right here. Maybe I've put a love spell on you accidentally, but anyway, it does happen. And she gets out of there as quickly as possible because he is dead keen for her, like keener than Phoebe is for what's his name.
Right.
And she escapes in the lift. You've written the elevator, but that's fine.
I know. When I read that, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a lift when I talk to him. Like, I thought that in my head. So
don't worry. I'm so versed. It's fine. Just as he shouts, he loves her through the lift. It's kind of like a comical non-scene, basically, but it is Piper's story. Back at the room, they learn that Daryl has found absolutely no records of Niall whatsoever. And they wonder whether Niall's using like a fake name or something while he's there and why he's visiting. It all gets quite suspicious. It's basically a red herring, but it still builds up narratively like that. So Niall arrives at the hotel to pick up Phoebe for another date. They go on so many dates in this book. She's only there for a week.
I know.
Yeah, Phoebe's been on more dates than I have in the last 2 years, in 2 days. And yeah, Phoebe's hiding in the bathroom, which I don't think Phoebe would do, but I'll go with it. Phoebe's hiding in the bathroom while Prue and Piper do another sort of interrogation on him. And he's quite jokey about this. He's a bit like, oh, are you going to give me the 3rd degree again? You know? Whereas Prue's like, yeah, I fucking am actually.
Right.
Like,
get used to it.
Prue, and this is where Prue is like that bitch, you know, like she's literally like, who the fuck are you? What's going on? Where the hell's Miss Jeffries? Who was that redhead? She literally just comes in hard. And Niall's kind of coy and nervous, but a bit weirded out, and he tries to leave. So Prue slams him with her powers. She's like, nah, mate.
We mean business, so tell us what's going on.
Yeah, she's so fucking hot, isn't she? She
really is. I know.
She flings him into a chair, and Prue says, "Look, we're witches. You obviously want the power of 3. Blah 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 blah." And Niall says again, another fucking dramatic ending to a chapter from these books. Niall goes, "You're witches? Thank God! I need your help." It like the drama alone in these books is just unparalleled, to be honest.
And Niall seriously hopes that the sisters can help him. He explains that 2 weeks ago he was taken out of his time of 5. This is some real, like, a lot of information. He was taken out of his time of 584 and brought here by Diana and the Druids. He is the son of Merlin and Nephine. Is that how you say that? Nephine? I don't know.
No idea. I want to say Nephaean, but Nephaean. I could be very, very wrong with that.
She's really not important, but she was another powerful magic user. Pretty much, he's the son of Merlin, and he never met his father. He was put into a magical prison before he was born, and then he himself, Niall, doesn't have any magic at all, even though he's born from these 2 magical parents. But Diana believes that it is in his blood, and she wants to obtain his power. She wants to obtain his power by having a baby with him. So.
He just so happens to be fucking gorgeous. So I think it's a 2 birds, 1 stone thing with Diana. But okay.
It's like, give me your power. Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay. But yeah, it's like a recessive thing, isn't it? So the power's not in Niall, it's going to be in their unborn child if that happens.
Yeah. So. She brought him all the way from the past to have this ritual. They're working on a Beltane ritual, which actually is a real Sabbath.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a real pagan Sabbath. It's a lot of roots in the Celtic lore and stuff, but it's still practiced today. They're going to do a thing called the Sun God and Summer Queen and have them both represent, Niall be the Sun God and she be the Summer Queen. In hopes of creating this magical baby to control. Well, funny enough, Diana is also the name of a pagan goddess. That's the goddess of fertility.
Yes.
So yeah, it's pretty neat that they do have some of those little clues in there. Then we have Niall, and he's, I'm not really with her, but I have to do what she says, because if I don't, she's not going to send me back to my time, and I'm going to die. So if I don't go back before this midsummer day, I'm gone. So he's just doing what she wants. Prue asks about Miss Jeffries. She's like, okay, so where is she? Where do you have her? And Niall says he doesn't know, but he believes that they're planning on using her as a sacrifice for the ritual.
Oh, I mean, she started off so wholesome, didn't
I
she?
know. Have some strawberries. Now I'm going to be sacrificed.
I know.
Oh.
Now they're just going to burn her. So intense.
Yeah.
This is a lot of information. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's because these books are only 150 pages long, right? So they've got to plow through the exposition. They've got to.
And Niall, he's been on the hunt for the spell. Merlin have left him at some point. So apparently his dad left him a spell that would allow him to get home if he was ever separated in some strange land. So he's like, I know he wrote a spell for me. I just have to find it. And that's why he was looking at that piece of paper in the bookstore with Phoebe. And so at first they're still a little apprehensive about him. They don't know if they can trust him, but they in the end decide to believe him and help him. So now we're on Niall's team.
Yeah, it's almost so weird that it has to be true. Okay, the girls and Niall, basically they're either at breakfast in this story or they're on a date. That's the vibe, really. The girls and Niall are at breakfast discussing. Now, the thing is, I don't think they're at breakfast. I think they're doing some sort of lunch thing because they're all plowing cider, alcoholic fucking cider.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
which cracks me up because clearly something's about to go down seriously, and they're getting pissed on quite strong booze. Which I have to say is very British. We have something serious to do. Let's get wankered before we do it. So anyway, they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to go back in time. Blah blah blah. Let's get drunk first.
I was like, we need anything to make this crazy in my head to stop for a minute.
I know. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need some pre-drinks for this. Anyway, they're discussing a tracking spell and time travel and all sorts of stuff. So because they need to figure out where Miss Jeffries is, they really that's a focus as well. So Prue astral projects. I like this bit. I like when she uses astral projection. She astral projects back to the manor in San Francisco and finds the tracking spell in the Book of Shadows.
I'm going to read you the blurb from the book, and I'm going to see if you can catch my problems with it. I'm going to test you.
Okay. No.
Okay, I know. It's fine.
I know. Oh, God.
Okay. As she approached, a breeze seemed to riffle the pages of the huge book. Prue smiled, knowing they would magically fall open at whatever page she needed to see. That certainly made her task easier. When she was astral projecting, she was basically a ghost without substance. She had an advantage because of her other power, the ability to move things with her mind, but using that power was kind of like wielding a sledgehammer. It wasn't much good for a delicate task like turning pages. Okay.
Yes.
I have a lot of problems
now,
with that.
Yeah, I bet you do. Because is it because Prue never has problems when she's astral projecting with her telekinesis, from what we've seen in the show? And also, they kind of make out in this dialogue that she's like a ghost or something, when really she astral project whole, she's just normal.
Yes.
Is that your problem with it?
I have several problems. We can break it down. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We'll break it down. You are right with the astral projection thing. She is corporeal when she is in that. She can grab pieces of wood. She can touch pages. This was actually very kind of reminiscent of the scene in Awaken when she was in the hospital when Piper got aurora fever. She had to astral project back to the book to get a spell.
Oh, yeah.
But she was actually there. She was flipping through the pages, touching it. She can, she's fine. But also said she knew the book would magically fall wherever. That's not a guarantee. It happens quite a bit, but you don't know for sure that's going to happen. There's a lot of times when you're perusing the book, you can't find a single spell you're looking for. So that was
that's true.
Yeah, you're not going to know. She's like, I'm just going to wait here until it moves for me. You're like, no, that's not how it works. So there's that. We talked about the corporeal astral projecting. Oh, and they talk about her telekinesis, how she can't use her telekinesis for trivial things like turning books. She does that. She uses her telekinesis to turn books. I think of Blinded by the White Lair when she's like, she just flips through it that way. So
she does it. Do you remember when she's unemployed or something in season 3, and she just uses her power to move something across the mantelpiece because she's bored or something?
Yeah.
So She definitely does. Yeah, all right.
That was season 2. That was season 2, but yeah,
was it? Oh,
yeah.
God. See, I told you, don't quiz me on this.
That being said, if she did use her telekinesis in astral form, I would have called that out too, because that does not happen. That's wrong. Yeah, just a lot of things that were a little not quite right.
Yeah, there was a lot wrong with that. I remember that annoying me, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They get back to the hotel again and find flowers for Piper. Piper's still doing that. Basically they perform this tracking spell, and it kind of summons a demon who I can only imagine is like Siri to tell them like where to go and what's going on. The demon's head changes from horns to like sort of this picture that points them to the attic in Diana's place. I don't really get this demon thing. I don't think that was needed.
It was so weird.
I mean, it was a bit weird, wasn't it? I didn't understand it.
They don't normally summon demons. Like, the only time they summon demons is either vanquish them or they get to like interrogate them.
Or unless they're sleeping with one of them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah, it was very strange. It was one of those moments I read past and I was like, have I read this wrong? But
does this happen? Is this real? Yeah. So
yeah, it was very strange. Anyway, they realize they need to go to Diana's attic or whatever. So Prue tries to astral project there, and she is blocked for something stopping her from doing that. So the sisters dress basically as cat burglars, and they really make a point of saying they look like this to in these black outfits to head to Diana's place to do it the old-fashioned way. And on the way, Sir Andrew runs into Piper and he professes his love to her because obviously that B plot's going on. So Piper's like, fuck this, freezes him and does a runner as she usually does.
Avoiding the problem here.
Yeah, poor guy. And she basically says, I've made a mistake. And it is weird because it's not a Piper storyline. Even their reaction to it is a bit like annoyed with her for being so reckless with magic, which isn't really Piper, but whatever. Anyway, they do enter Diana's place. And basically, as soon as they're about to like search the joint, the sisters are immediately restrained by these very, very muscly men, which it's a problem for them. I wouldn't have had a problem with it, but I mean, whatever. And they're confronted by Diana, who I imagine standing there like some absolute badass bitch.
Well, what do we have here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was like Maleficent entrance when Prince Philip comes in the little cottage. That's the vibe. Anyway, Diana goes, you're basically looking for this, aren't you? Which is Merlin's spell. And she's like, I've had it all along. Very like Agatha. It was Diana all along.
That's totally.
She's basically saying, I'm not going to give this to Niall. In fact, I'm going to burn it right in front of you.
Watch.
And this is really quite intense because she burns it and then she whispers in his ear, oh, it's in my head. So if you want it, you're going to have to like fuck me tomorrow.
Right. It was so seductive. So which like badass.
It was a bit heavy and a bit but I mean, okay.
Yeah,
she's
scary.
Basically blackmailing him.
She's a predator. Yeah,
she is a predator. There we go. But she's like a sort of like an Agatha predator. So it's a weird one. She has she says that she has the spell memorized, and she says to Niall and to the sisters, she's like, you need to start doing things my way, otherwise he's gonna die, basically. Your turn.
Chapter 8. Yes, this is a strange scene for me. I don't understand this fight scene completely, so I don't know if you got anything better out of it. But Phoebe escaped her restraint with the muscle man by her kickboxing, her martial arts, what she
does. Yeah,
she's become known for. Piper worked her way out of her guy too. I don't know how she got out of her muscle man, but
did she freeze him and run away? Maybe.
Yeah, she froze and ran away. Yes, that's what she did. And then Prue just falls. She gets knocked out, and I do not understand what knocks her out. I know she talks about some beam of light or something, and then she's like on the floor. But I
assumed someone like hit her. Maybe it wasn't clear. You're right.
They had that battle sequence, and Piper freezes the room after she sees Prue get knocked out. And then Prue wakes up with a headache. They grab Niall, but Mrs. Jeffries' strawberry friend is nowhere to be found. So I know, where is she? Because I guess they thought she was being hidden in like an attic somewhere, but she wasn't there. So they just have
Yeah.
no choice but to leave, and they just leave the frozen scene and they escape. And then they want to take Prue to a hospital.
Yeah, in Hereford. I've been there.
Oh, lovely.
Not to the hospital, but I thought I liked this because I was like, this geography is correct, because that is about 20 miles away from.
Oh, nice.
So, it's got better throughout the book. We're not in England anymore. But yeah, they're like, we need to deal with Niall and we need to deal with Prue because they're injured.
Yeah. So they take Prue to the hospital. They're all there, and while they're like in the waiting room, Niall pulls Phoebe aside and tells her to just forget about him. He's like, I'm dead no matter what. Diana has already won, so you should just focus on Mrs. Jeffries and your sister, and just leave me be. But they have like a nice little tender moment, a little romantic moment. They both say how they're in love with each other. Oh, I don't want to lose you. Oh, I've known you for 2 days.
It gets a bit too like romance novel-y, their relationship for me. I don't know. Maybe it's my cynical side. I'm a bit like, really, hon? No.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of romance in books. It can be done well. Like, don't get me wrong. If it's done well, I'll be all about it. But a lot of these are just so campy.
Yeah, this is not done well. This is some sort of like Fabio shit,
Right.
Like,
this is the fantasy romance that doesn't exist in real life.
I mean, Phoebe's thirsty, and look, I get thirst, but I'm not. This is not. I don't think she's. I don't get how she could be this into someone, but hey.
So the next day, Prue has this amazing idea to use a spell to go back in time. She's like, we've done it before. Why don't we just go back to the past? But our magic only works on us, so we can't bring Niall with us, even though this is for his own time. We can't take him there. Only we can go. So, yeah. So like, we'll go back in time. We'll get the spell from Merlin directly and bring it back, and then you can go. You can use it to go back home. Like, okay, fair enough, I suppose. They put together like these garments with sheets from their hotel room and like random things in the closet that they brought, and like piece together these like old-fashioned garments. And
I like that Prue asked Niall to look in their closet and pick things out. Though that was clever though, because I'm like, that makes sense.
It does. Like, he would know,
because he would know, and it was just quite camp, really. I quite enjoyed it. Phoebe and Niall are staying to do more like romance shit.
Yeah, because Niall can't come. They have to have somebody stay with Niall, but they leave Phoebe there, who won't be able to protect him too well, I don't think, but sure. And then Prue and Piper recite a spell to send them back in time. Okay.
Yeah. This happens very fast. This whole like going back in time thing. I forgot this happened in the book. So I was like, whoa, okay. But yeah, Prue and Piper arrive. They arrive and they basically, I guess, are like teleported into a battlefield. And this is an old battle. This is axes flying everywhere, like so you get a lot of like Piper freezing the axe and it flying into trees and stuff, and basically they need to like move,
right,
or they're going to be cut up. It's they landed in a battlefield, so there you go.
That's an inaccuracy too, because when they go into the past, they don't have access to their powers.
Yeah,
so
see, I was wondering that when they got there. I was like, are they going to do that thing again where they go in the past and they go, oh no, we don't have any powers? But luckily they do in this point.
Right.
So.
They've actually never had an episode where they were in the past with powers. The only one that's done it was like Chris, and I still don't know how he did it.
Chris, I haven't thought about him for a while. Anyway, they're in Camelot, and actually, to kudos to the book, it's not gone down the sort of traditional sort of Camelot cliche route. It's they've really gone into like the dirtiness of the year 500. Like, people were sick, people were muddy, people were that was the reality.
Yeah.
So basically they sneak onto this wagon to get into Camelot once they escape the battlefield, and Prue and Piper realize that English at the time is not the English that we speak now. It's something different. It looked like Welsh or some version of Welsh, but who knows? As it said, different tribes and things. I thought this was quite good, actually. Basically, they're like, fuck, we don't understand anything. How are we going to talk to Merlin? And so now this chapter sort of flashes back and forth from past to Phoebe and Niall. So I'll try my best with this one. Phoebe and Niall are in the bookstore looking for like a plan B, basically, just in case this goes wrong, because it is a really risky plan. Like, it's I mean, it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're like perusing books, and Phoebe has an epiphany, does she? I can't remember. What does she have an epiphany about?
They don't tell you in that chapter. Like reading books, and she's like, "Oh, that's it." Oh, like what? Okay.
Oh, a good epiphany. Yes. Okay, I'm with you. Okay,
Yeah.
So Phoebe has like a pin drop moment, but we don't know what that is.
Yeah. So Prue and Piper come up because they're all dirty from like running through the battlefield. So they come upon this woman who like thinks they're kitchen wenches.
Oh yeah, she sounds fucking terrifying.
I think it was like Sweetums, the Muppet Sweetums. Well, whatever. Like,
yeah, she's fucking wild. She was
Yeah.
like, she sounded like something from Shrek or something.
Yeah.
I was like,
and she's like,
it was yeah.
it's scary. I would be terrified of her.
Same.
But she's like taking them to the kitchen. She's like, do this. Blah, 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 blah. They just kind of putz around because they don't know what they're doing. And I guess like Prue does a thing where she like moves a rock outside the doorway to like distract her, and then they run away.
Classic.
Yeah. Like, oh, what was that knocking on the door? Better go take a look. So they sneak away again, and they come up upon the round table, and they're like trying to find Merlin. They just kind of go up and up and up into this tower.
I love that they just assume he's in this tower. Do you know what I mean? They're like, obviously Merlin's in this tower. Like, have you seen that film, Sword in the Stone? Like,
that's where he is.
I mean, they were right. So yeah.
I mean, that's really technically my main knowledge of Merlin too. Is like I always think of him, Archimedes and stuff. And
oh god, I love it.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? That kitchen wench, you kind of remind me of the chick from Peter Pan. Squaw, fetch me some firewood.
Oh yeah.
Squaw will not fetch firewood.
Oh my god, I love Peter Pan.
So good.
So good.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot, especially with you on here, we can't get through this without at least one Disney reference. It's always bound to happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Go up to the tower, and Merlin appears like out of the shadows, and he's just like using his awesome powers. Frankly, he's really good at. He like makes Prue and Piper like stuck to the floor. He has like cements them, and he neutralizes the powers, and they can't use them, which they're not supposed to anyway. But they can't use them on him. And he's like,
he sounds like a badass, like Thanos or something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right. He's got the power. They really showcase that. I love that. I love that scene.
Yeah, they that was really well written, actually. Like, it was really intense. It wasn't like silly Merlin,
No. And he's still talking in language they can't understand at this time. So but he's like he's just attacking them, and they can't find a way to communicate. They're like, no way. Merlin takes out a staff, and he's just about to blast them into oblivion. He's like, wherever you are dead to me.
Fucking intense.
Yeah, and that's how that chapter ends. You think they're going to be blasted away.
And basically, because there's this language issue, Piper does this sort of rocking the cradle, like, not rocking the cradle, like this. She does this like gesture that makes Merlin like go, oh, I'm talking about a baby, and then she says Niall, and that gets his attention because obviously his baby's not been born yet. But he knows he's going to call his son Niall. So he's like, this is weird. Maybe I should ask who they are before I shoot them.
Right.
But yeah, Merlin basically, he stops his attack and then does a little spell so that he can speak their language. Yeah, they follow him upstairs into this tower room. And that's when he does the spell to so he can speak to them. He checks whether they can speak Latin first, which I thought was quite clever. And then basically Merlin starts drawing symbols in the air and chanting a spell, and so now they're in full communication, so we know what's going on. He knows they're witches from that encounter downstairs, and he wants to know, why they know about his son and all this kind of stuff. So they fill him in. Merlin asks what his son looks like, and he's quite touched by the conversation, and he's quite respectful of how changing the past can affect the future and vice versa in the Charmed universe. So he's very like, don't tell me anything I don't need to know. Anyway, they then said, look, we need this. You wrote a spell for him to protect him. Can you do it again? And he was like, yeah, sure, babes. So he does it again. Does it again, gives it to them. Fuck off back home. It's really a very quick trip back in time.
It really is. But it's so quick. But I did like Merlin, the way he was written and the dialogue he had was really, it's really on par.
I was really impressed by it. You could really sense like the grandeur
Yeah.
in the character. And that's difficult because Merlin's been taken the piss out of so much in so much media that it's kind of hard to do that properly. And I actually think, considering we only had a few pages of this, that was pretty good. So yeah, Prue and Piper are back. They meet up with Phoebe. I love how Phoebe doesn't even ask them, like, are you okay? Did everything go all right? Like they just went to the pub or something.
Yeah, nice to see you too. Yeah.
Basically, Phoebe's more excited to tell them about this counterspell idea that will nullify Diana's magic and allow Niall to stay with her. So
that's what it's all about. It's all about Phoebe and her dick, you know?
Yeah, so I'd be pretty fucked off with Phoebe if I'd just gone through what they'd gone through, and she went, "Guys, it's fine.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Sort it out." So yeah, not cool, Phoebe. Not cool.
Not cool. Phoebe believes that Diana's curse won't affect Niall if he somehow isn't around at the time that he's supposed to turn to dust. So if he's like frozen, you know, at midnight when it's supposed to go down, then he can't die. Which I don't know. I see that rationale would not sit right with me. I'm like, he's still there.
I thought it was crap.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Shut up, Phoebe.
Like that would never work.
No. I was like, mate. Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
Well, freeze now right before midnight, and then unfreeze him right after, and everything will be a-okay. Sure. And so now Niall has no intent on going back to his own time. He's like, I'm not known in history. I have no family. No one will miss me. He's like, why not? Why don't I stay here? You know, that's fine.
Yeah, but they're both thinking with their genitals, aren't they? At this point, so they really don't give a shit.
Like, we have more days to fuck now. This is what we really want.
Exactly. They're like, we've been on 3 dates. Let's get mad.
Prue and Piper give Niall the spell from Merlin, even though he doesn't seem to need it anymore. They're like, well, here, we got it for you anyway. You might need it.
I'd have thrown it at them.
Why not? The night of the ritual, and the sisters and Niall scope out the Druid site, and there's like a giant wicker torso, which actually is a real, like, I think Caesar wrote about that. He claimed that the Druids use those wicker things for human sacrifice and they would burn them.
Jeez.
Yeah. So she was using some actual real life lore here.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I mean, it's not cool, but it's
yeah.
Cool, which means
yeah. So they see the giant wicker torso and they assume that's where Mrs. Jeffries is in, and Diana is here and she's over dramatic with her robe and she's like, "You guys, tonight is the time." Sisters,
yeah.
like
she's totally. She's so drag. She's quite drag, isn't she? Like she's very like Winifred. Yeah,
her pussy is ready.
Yeah, her pussy's on fire and it is ready.
So now they're all like hiding out, kind of in the woods area, watching this.
Yeah.
Niall kisses Phoebe. It's like, last minute, you know, I'm gonna do my thing now. He walks up to Diana. He kind of flirts with her and distracts her while Piper rescues Mrs. Jeffries from the wooden man.
Yeah, Piper does a freeze and run again.
Yeah, all right. Freeze the guards, go and sneak up. Okay, let's go right into the woods.
Yeah, done.
I got her.
Piper.
Yep. So now after they know Mrs. Jeffries is safe, Prue and Phoebe come out into the open and they're like, "Hey, remember us?" And then Diana's like, "Get them!" And she orders the guards to attack them, and then we have this whole action battle scene here again. So Prue is throwing all the Druids left and right. Piper comes back after Mrs. Jeffries is insecure and she freezes people, and that's where it goes down. Diana is backed into a corner. She's backed into like the ritual stones, and she starts to begin her ritual. But then Prue takes Diana's scarf that she wears and she like ties her hands up with it.
Yeah. It was quite kinky, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. She's like, put your hands in the air. You are bound, bitch. And
I was like, yes, hon.
Yeah. And then Diana's like, she starts to scream. She's like, no. And then she goes and she takes her scarf and she gags her with her own scarf even further.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, Prue is brutal.
It's like dominatrix Prue. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. And I think they say something like, damn, Prue, that's some artistry. Like,
yeah, it sounds it.
And yeah, all Diana could do is glare at them at this point. She can't speak, she can't move, she's just like giving them the death stare.
Yeah, God.
Yeah.
God, lucky Diana.
I know, man. Like, this is like a really great night for me if that happened.
Exactly. I was like, come on.
And then
so she saved the day.
Yeah, she saved the day. The girls cast a spell to dismiss the darkness, illumine over the stones. So they changed the darkness of the stones to like a light, happy magic.
Oh yeah.
And then feeling good, Phoebe kisses Niall again and gets a premonition.
Yeah. And this is where it's like it should have ended here, I think, because this is where it gets really fucking weird. Like,
it gets so weird.
They try too hard to like connect the dots, basically, and it's just I really had to be like, what? And I'm all right with history, but I'm not that great, so I was a little bit like, okay. I reaching is the word, I think.
Yeah, and I was just reading this. I'm just like, I'm so bored.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care enough. Like, so basically, she has this vision of the town of Hay-on-Wye being like a complete slum. It's like it's very apocalyptic what she's seeing. And San Francisco is filled with like all these torture scenes. Basically, she has very strange visions of a sort of apocalyptic world, I suppose. But it is a bit odd. It kind of flashes all over the place. And they basically surmise that the future is in trouble if Niall doesn't go back because of all the time shit, you know? And Phoebe's not having it, which is kind of annoying. So this is why this chapter is kind of annoying, because it's like we've got all this weird history and Phoebe's like going, no, I need more information. No, I want more. I'm like, fuck off. All of this, fuck off.
Yeah.
I like the bit where they bring Mrs. Jeffries home and put her to sleep. They do like a little spell to make sure she forgets. And then we go to Diana's apartment to sort of dig, to look at the information Diana has on Niall and his family history, because she's obviously done her research. And they put all the pieces together, but it just goes on and on and on. And it's all about like figuring out its connections to the Spanish Armada, and I mean, it's to be honest,
it's wacky. You
don't need to know it. It's wacky, and you don't know. And basically, they surmise, if you don't mind, I'll just say, they surmise after going through all this research that Niall probably needs to go back home.
Right, that's the gist of it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. And we all knew that, because she doesn't end up with Niall in the bloody whatever TV series. Whatever. So they do a tearful goodbye. He doesn't even say goodbye to Piper and Phoebe. He just uses the spell and disappears.
It's like peace. Yeah.
Harsh. Yeah, I was like, whoa, man. So says goodbye to Phoebe, and Phoebe's like already thinking about like the dick in his family that's out in the world, maybe.
Like, yeah, does he have any like descendants?
Yeah, see, I knew she didn't care. She's just dick. She's dick hungry, man, and I'm so here for it. The girls then basically check out of the hotel. Piper and Piper's little story. They're like, oh shit, yeah, we need to clear that up as well, don't we? Let's just. So Piper's apparently gone out in the morning and created something really gross, that like a charm, garlicky charm that sort of will break the spell, and it did. And he fucks off, and they go back home. So
the end.
That's it. That's the story.
That's the story.
Wasn't that fun?
What are your thoughts? The final thoughts? Liked, disliked?
I really liked it, and it's made me want to read all the other books again. So I'm actually gonna start doing that. So yeah, no, awesome. I really liked this story. I thought it was really cool. I didn't like the ending bit, which they tried to put everything together, and it was just very strange. But everything else I really enjoyed. How about you?
I liked it a lot. I think I liked it even more going through it with you, because I was like, it's more fun to talk to somebody and you really can flesh out those ideas. So I even like it more now. It's not what I expected at all. You think something called the Legacy of Merlin would have Merlin be more of a key player?
Yeah.
So that was.
I mean, yeah. But that's good in a way, because it kind of keeps you on your toes a little bit.
True.
And I hadn't read it, as I said, for like 15 years, so it was kind of like reading it for the first time again.
Yeah, I've read these, about 20 or so years ago, and I don't really remember them until I get through. I'm like, oh yeah, now this is really familiar to me. But as I'm reading it, it's like completely out of my mind. Put that in my canonical hat. Canonical. I'm trying to figure out how the best way to phrase this question, but it's pretty much like, what things are keeping this from being canon? Would we fix anything to fit better into the narrative?
I would have scrapped the whole like Piper doing a love spell. I don't think she would have done that, in considering what was going on with Leo. Even like one she made by mistake, it doesn't seem like a character choice she would have made. Phoebe totally would have fallen in love with someone immediately. But no, otherwise, I thought it was pretty good. I think there were some, as you said, mistakes with powers in the past and things like that that don't fit. So, but other than that, I think I would have loved to see this episode personally.
Yeah, I think it would have been a different take, especially since we did get the Sword in the City kind of Camelot episode, but that was really it. So
oh yeah, Piper turned into like a badass, didn't she? In that episode?
she got to wield Excalibur and stuff.
Yeah, she was all leather. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about my notes here. I have Leo is mentioned, and Piper's concerns about him not being around are only somewhat valid for the period of time, because she definitely did have those fears in the show. But at this point, Leo was like practically living at the house. He was there all the time. You know, he just got his wings back, and he was there to the point that Prue and Phoebe thought he was living there. He's always had cereal bowls everywhere and dishes, and he's always in the shower and nice orbs and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Fabulous.
So it is weird that like at this particular period that she thought he would lose him, although the possibility was still very real, you know, I guess, but it was during a time where he wasn't really doing much.
Yeah, because that confused me. That's why I thought maybe we were in the sort of Dan and Leo territory time, because of how she was feeling about it, which I think that was quite confusing actually.
Yeah, it's like right at the end, right after Dan, you know, kind of went away. Certainly had to take place before the season 2 finale, because it can't take place after the finale because Piper and Leo were like up there for a month. They orbed away and they were together. So
of course, yeah.
So it couldn't have taken place between those 2 episodes. It had to be before. And I wanted to talk about there's 4 wizards that were shown in the show. The wizard from We're Off to See the Wizard that wanted to become the source. There's the Meryl, which was like the advisor in The Day the Magic Died when Wyatt was born. He was the one that kind of foresaw Wyatt's twice blessed.
Oh yeah.
And then we had Rathmere, which was eaten by the spider demon for like hundreds of years, and he was a really powerful wizard.
Oh, he was a proper Merlin wizard, wasn't he? Like how I imagine.
Totally.
Yeah,
totally.
Like the only Merlin depiction, I would say, in Charmed. Like really,
it's true. It really is the only one that's Merlin-esque. Because all the other wizards they had were pretty evil. Because the last one was in season 8, Zakal, and he was like working for the source. So you know what I would have liked to see, I think, would be like when Piper went into the past, I would have liked to see like some kind of connection, some kind of like backstory about what caused Wyatt to become heir to Excalibur. Like maybe they did something or they made some kind of connection and made him become that heir to inherit the sword. And yeah, that would have been fun. See what sparked those future events.
I think it's weird that we didn't get any Excalibur or Arthur when we went to the past in this book.
It is
like I know we were there to find Merlin, but it really was a speedy little work trip, wasn't it? Like it did feel quite rushed, even for a Charmed book.
Right. And King Arthur is mentioned, but Excalibur isn't mentioned at all, not even once in the book.
Yeah, fuck this book.
So yeah. Okay, so now we're doing rhyme time.
Should we try a spell?
Why not? Let's try a spell.
In the wind, I sing this rhyme. Bring death before me, before my time.
You've really got to lay off the rhyming, Prue. Wonderful. Witty, but wordy.
I did the rhyme. I will do the time. Good night.
We're going to read the spells that were featured. Do you want to start?
Yeah, okay. This is the flower spell.
Do you want me to start? I can do it. You want to do the other one?
Yeah, you start. Lovely.
Okay. All right. I'll do the flower spell. All right. So for this spell, the caster should have the following flowers, which should be made into a posy in the shape of a heart: mallow blue, blood red wort, and a fire of stars. For constancy, this mallow blue shall never give me cause to rue. Blood red wort makes passion blaze, and fire of stars for length of days. Behold the spell I weave for you, lover, to me alone be true. It's a nice poem. I don't want to do a love spell.
I think it sounds like a kind of Viagra spell.
Yeah, exactly that.
Like, you know, things like makes passion blaze length for days, you know, like it's, I'm enjoying the naughtiness of this spell.
Can you imagine
But
the old man with a boner? Sir Andrew.
It would explain. He probably did have one the whole time from what we read. So yeah, no, I like this erection. I like this erection spell. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's nice.
I'm here for this bonus spell.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It does have a good flow and a good language and nice rhyme scheme. So yeah.
Yeah. So the other one was the tracking spell. This is for that weird demon though, which we're keen on. So it's something of the lost person is needed. It's then placed in the outline of a pentagram made by Watermark. And it goes, like calls to like by this ancient rule, dirt to dust and gem to jewel. We call upon thee, O great Malik, to hear and show us what we seek. Yeah, I can't get over this demon thing. I don't think this would happen.
No. It's still so weird. It's fine. It's the spell that's just kind of there. I don't hate it, but it doesn't do anything for me, and I don't really like it. So
no. I also I don't really like the rhyming of Maclick with seek either.
Yeah,
it's a bit like bit of a reach. Do you know what I mean? Like, so
totally.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not this one.
All right. Now we have the Power of 3 spell that they use to cleanse the stones, the ritual stones from dark to light.
Oh yeah, this is like a haiku, this spell.
Yes. Ludlow is vanquished type of thing.
Yeah.
In this place, upon this night, cleanse these name of objects, cleanse these stones, bring them back to light. By the power of 3, bring them back to light. Yeah, it's just like repetition.
Yeah, it's okay, but
yeah, it would do the trick. It's one of those spells that you just you got in your back pocket to do.
Do you know, I hate to say it, but I think the flower one was the strongest out of the whole book.
It really was, actually.
Coming back to it.
Yeah, the flower one was, I don't like the purpose of the spell. I don't like the plot that was induced, but it's a nice spell.
Yeah, okay. All right, we choose the erection spell.
I mean, not much has changed, really, in my life.
I mean, obviously.
This book officially made us have an 11th baddie, a bad guy. So people are going to start dropping off the list. So I'm just going to put Diana in it. I put her as, what did I put her?
She's great. She's camp.
She's camp. Where did I put her? I think I put her.
What did they do with her? That's what I want to know. Did they leave her there?
Yeah, they must. I mean, did they strip her powers or what? They just let her hang to death.
They just leave her like bound and gagged in a sex dungeon. Like,
oh my god, they totally did. That is so awful.
How it ended.
And you harm none. Do what you will. Yeah, not so much.
Please direct all complaints about this episode to Kevin and not me.
I'll be happy to oblige.
Yeah, he's so much nicer.
I'm gonna put her, actually. I had her lower, but I think after this book I like her more, even though she doesn't do much. I think I'm gonna put her above Charlotte. So she's gonna be my number 6.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And so that means
she's definitely middle ranking. She was very fierce all the way through.
I think so too. Yeah. So that means Dylan Thomas is off of my list. That was the one from the Haunted by Desire book.
Oh yeah.
So he is now booted off.
I can't remember the book, but I did listen to the episode.
Yes. So yeah.
Bye, Dylan.
Bye, Dylan. All right. So now I think we are in our game.
What is this, some kind of game?
Grimoire Games.
Some people think this is entertainment.
Pretty much our game this week is we are putting Disney villains and charmed villains together and kind of figure out who would win in a battle against each other.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, and I have a list.
I think it's going to be harder than you think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I have a list of 10 charmed villains and 10 Disney villains, and I did try to have the Disney villains kind of be magic wielders, magical people that could kind of be in a charmed world. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to have like Frollo, even though Frollo is one of the scariest villains out there. I don't think he'd stand a chance.
Oh my god, yeah.
No. Yeah, Frollo's scary because he's very real world, you know.
Yeah, Frollo's too real world.
Yeah. All right, so
I'm game though. This is the kind of thing that can really piss people off this game. So let's go for it.
Okay, so do you want, because right now they're in order, I have them in order of how when the order of appearance, so the earliest things. Do you want me like to spin a wheel and just kind of find people randomly that way, or
we can do it in the order you sent? I thought that was quite interesting.
Cool, we'll do it in the order we sent then. This is so first we have Jeremy Burns, the first warlock from episode 1, going against the evil queen from Snow White.
Now Jeremy's powers were just literally having like a sharp face. Right?
Well,
that was the spell they did to him.
Yeah, that was the spell.
I was like, what were his powers? Like
he pretty much just a warlock that stole other witches' powers. His main iconic one is the candle fingers that he stole from Serena.
So she could blow out his fingers and then kill him. This. I'm sorry, the evil queen would nuke this guy.
Hands down. I mean, she'd probably make him just a minion. She's like, I'll take control of you. You better do my bidding, type of thing. Because
she wouldn't even get into this fight. He wouldn't get into the castle.
No, it's like I knew you were coming from the moment you stepped foot on this land, type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, he's almost too insignificant for her. I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeremy. So that's one to Disney.
One to Disney. I think the second one is going to be another hands down one. We have Rex and Hannah, two people next to Chernabog.
I love Hannah though.
I mean, I love Hannah. She's so great, and Will and Grace. She's so funny in that too.
Hannah versus Chernabog.
It's Rex and Hannah, so you got two. You got Rex and Hannah, both of them as a team, but versus Chernabog. But Chernabog, I mean.
But they are quite cunning, the pair of them.
True.
And he is massive, so he might not be able to like pinpoint two tiny humans specifically.
And Rex can astral project, and he has the power of like persuasion, so he can like kind of whisper in your ear and try to make you think to do things. And
yeah, I think Chernabog's like a big bitch, but I was about to say big isn't always better, but in this case, I'm not sure. No, who am I kidding? Chernabog would nuke them.
Yeah. Next we have Barbus, Demon of Fear, versus Maleficent. Now this is interesting. So should we say OG Maleficent, not Angie Maleficent? Right.
Just for OG. Like ease.
Yeah.
So Barbus is a big one, isn't he? It's like the thing is, that's a powerful power to be able to use someone's fear against them. So maybe he just constantly not invite Maleficent to parties, and that's what would do it.
Right.
Just get FOMO. I think his narrative in Charmed, he starts off very strong, but then he kind of gets a bit like a bit of a wet, silly villain later on, doesn't he? Like a little bit like he's kind of the one that gets beaten up for information and things like later on.
He comes back quite a few times. He's in From Fear to Eternity, Ms. Hellfire, Sympathy for the Demon, and then he comes back for like several episodes in the end of season 6, 7.
I mean, the thing is, this is Maleficent. She can do anything. Whereas Barbus, his thing is fear. So it's really like the question is, would Maleficent have a fear that he could manipulate? And I think the answer is not really. Like she's not, at least not the original. All she really cared about is like fucking people up.
I mean, really.
So I think realistically, Maleficent's probably got this one.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard.
And Barbus would just come back anyway, wouldn't he? Like he always
comes back.
Oh my god, Disney's doing so well.
They are. Here's another interesting one: the Woogie Man versus the Horned King from Black Cauldron.
Oh my god, the Horned King. And the Woogie Man is an interesting one as well because he's kind of a shadow that can manipulate.
Yeah, he can manipulate. He can possess. He can create things out of thin air. And I feel like they kind of have similar territory because the Horned King is all about like controlling the darkness, and I mean, I feel like the Horned King would try to like use the Woogie Man to his advantage to control hordes of dead people or whatever.
Yeah,
but ultimately I think the Woogie Man would win because
I think so. I think the Horn King is probably one of Disney's worst villains as well. So I think for that reason alone, he's probably not going to win anything, is he? So, yeah, I liked the Woogieman. I thought that episode was really cool, the Woogieman, in season 1.
And that's another one that appeared quite a bit. And after the fact,
yeah, a couple of times. Yeah,
and it became a
big.
big.
Because it was like all about the Nexus, wasn't it? Like
exactly.
On.
Yeah, became a big thing in season 7.
Yeah. Oh my God, see. yeah. I'm gonna say. Let's say the Woogie. Yeah, fuck the Horn King.
The Horn King.
Pun intended.
Yeah, Woogie Man wins this one. I feel like he would just possess the Horn King anyway and just be darkness throughout.
Yeah, the Horn King didn't really do any. He didn't do anything. He just sort of
lusted after
had this army of dead people.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we got charmed one. Cool.
Yes, 3-1.
Now we have. Speaking of 3-1, we have the Triad versus Ursula. Do you remember the Triad?
I do.
Okay.
Which Triad are we talking about?
Technically, they're all the same, just they're reincarnated because they have a hard time dying. Okay. They get vanquished, but then they go in ghost form, and then they take on new bodies and they come back to life, and then they get vanquished again, and it's like these Triad do not die. They keep coming back.
And they were like basically the biggest villain in Charmed in the end, weren't they? In some respects,
they were one of it was between him and the Source, but we could argue that they were a greater antagonizer than the Source because they were probably throughout and stuff. So
they are top of the food chain.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the thing is Ursula is powerful, but she's all her magic isn't. It's not like part of her. It's potions and spells and things like that.
Yeah, not unless she has the trident,
or if she has the trident. So if she didn't have any of that, the Triad could probably destroy her just by thinking about it.
And say Ursula vanquishes them. Say Ursula kills them. They're not going to be dead. They'll find a way back.
No, they'll get fucking recast, won't they? Like,
right.
Like, I love Ursula. She's one of my favorite villains, but I'm thinking against the Triad. Even if she was like big Ursula with the trident, like essentially she died because a ship skewered her. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's quite a sad way to die for someone so powerful. So I'm kind of thinking the Triad could whoop her. I don't know. It is a tough one. Ursula's she's a bad bitch.
We
man.
love her. We love Ursula. She
we love her, and I hate talking about her dying.
I know, and like part of it too, because like. Ursula, she's got that pizzazz and she's got tricks up her sleeve. Like the Triad was powerful, but they were just boring old men, boring old white men. Like,
I know. Can we just say they die and Ursula wins? I think I would like Ursula to win, but I think if we're playing fair, I think probably the Triad would win.
Same. Then we have Balthazar versus Jafar.
Oh my God, what a gay fight!
For real. Oh my God, I love it.
That is like Muscle Daddy coming after like an aging twink. I'm so here for it.
Oh my God, Jafar would love it. Jafar would love it. He would revel in all of that glory.
Jafar would want to lose.
I know.
Like, he would.
I was like, "Come on, you brutes!"
Can we just agree that both win this one?
I think so.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
I think in bed or wherever they're fucking, it's a tie. Again, no pun intended.
Maybe they're both verse.
I'm sorry, Jafar is not verse.
What about Genie Jafar?
Oh, that's true. Oh shit, Daddy Jafar.
Daddy Jafar.
Should we agree that they'll fuck each other into oblivion and they both win?
Yes, I agree. I'm down for that.
Okay. So it's 4-3.
Yes. This is so much fun, really.
This is great, but this is filth. So I apologize, listeners. If you're here for wholesome content, I suggest you don't come to Once Upon a Stream.
Now we have Shax, Crew's murderer. We hate him. Versus Hades. Ooh.
Oh my God. I always thought Shax was quite sexy, actually.
Well. Michael Bailey Smith.
Is he sexy? I don't know who.
Well, the guy that played Shax, at least in All Hell Breaks Loose, is Michael Bailey Smith, who also played Balthazar, and he played.
Oh, okay, he is sexy then.
Yeah. He's got his bald head, and he's good.
Oh, I didn't know that was the same actor. That's cool.
He's also a Grimlock. He did
Shax.
lots of different demons. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like Shax. He kills Prue.
I know.
But we got to remember. We got to remember he does kill Prue, so he is powerful.
True. Yeah. That vortex.
And when he like usually in Charmed, there's a lot of like people getting flung into walls. Right, that's a Charmed thing.
It's a thing. That meme just went out recently. Yeah.
Shax like literally pushes them through walls and breaks infrastructure. So he's got some oomph to his blast.
Some spunk.
I'm sure he has plenty of spunk. Hades is very powerful, but I never like see him as powerful, which is silly really, because he is quite powerful.
It's the James Woods jokester kind of that vibe, I think, probably.
I know. I think realistically, Hades would probably own Shax, right? Like Hades is like the Source type. I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because Shax is the Source's assassin. He does the Source's bidding. He goes after who the Source wants. And he would totally be like a Hades minion. A very powerful one.
I can't really imagine. I think Hades is he's the king of the underworld. He's pretty powerful. I think it's fair to say Shax would be underneath him. So I think Hades has probably won this one.
Yeah, you're right.
Shax is a badass. He killed Prue, but I think Hades could kill Prue as well.
Yeah,
if he wanted to. Hades is smart, and Shax is just muscle.
Yeah, true. The end. I talk like this.
I mean, don't get me. Yeah, he. Do you know what? When I was a kid, he really scared me. Shax. I was quite freaked out by him.
He is terrifying. He really is. But like the hair and the gray and the blue and it's yeah.
You should do that for cosplay. I should. Doing a Shax.
Okay, I'll think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you should do a Shax and then send me pictures. That's fine. You can do that.
I can do that. And all of my cosplays, I do pinup versions too. I do like the sexier version. So maybe.
Oh, fabulous! Well, you have my socials. So
okay.
Okay. Who's next?
Next, we have the Source versus Yzma.
Oh well, this breaks my heart.
It does. Because
Yzma from the Emperor's New Groove is
everything.
Probably, if you're not, I think if you're not a part of the LGBTQ plus community, she is the most underrated villain in Disney. Like she just is. Whereas like people in our community, I think we respect Yzma a little bit, and we like. There's a sass that we can really like understand from her and like appreciate. She is fucking amazing, and she is so funny. She's voiced by Eartha Kitt. That's like the gayest thing I've ever heard. But the thing is, she doesn't have any power. She doesn't have any. She has potions, kind of in the Ursula realm a little bit, but not anything that's gonna fuck up the Source.
Right? Yeah. It is, and it's sad because I mean I would love to see her try to fight the Source. I think that would be hilarious.
Wrong lever.
all the shenanigans. Yeah, she can try to entice the Source by lifting up her legs. And,
yeah. To be fair, he might be into it.
It
does work a bit in the film. So
yeah.
Yeah, I think Charms probably won this one.
Yeah. Evil Wyatt. So Wyatt from the Chris's future.
Oh, so fair.
Wes Ramsey. He's got Excalibur, and he can blorb. I call it Black Orbing. He can blorb.
Yeah, he can. Yeah.
And but he's going against Dr. Facilier.
Again, I think we're in a territory where we have like someone who's powerful, Dr. Facilier, versus someone who's basically omnipotent, which is Evil Wyatt. Like Evil Wyatt could do anything, can't he? He's basically the Source.
Yeah, I mean he's got all these powers, but he has the power of like projection, so he can pretty much anything he can think of he can make. He made the whole firewall blast it. I'm like, dude, and he's got basically has Excalibur on top of it, which is
I think Dr. Facilier, you ain't surviving this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much your friends on the other side can do for you here, and they're probably friends with Wyatt's too.
I think, I think Evil Wyatt would destroy Dr. Facilier, and while he's at it, he can destroy me. Oh my God, it's 5 It was 5-5. The score is 5-5.
Whoa. Well, there's one more.
Okay, well, this is the deciding one then. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Zanku versus Mother Gothel.
Look, Mother Gothel, again, gay icon. I
Zanku.
can't imagine how that... Yeah, I mean, she's manipulative and she might sort of try and seduce him or try and like manipulate him or something. But he's pretty smart and he's pretty powerful. I think he'd pretty much destroy her quite quickly.
Yeah.
Because essentially Mother Gothel is just an old skeleton. That's
living off a flower.
what I mean, like trying to stay alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to say. Plus, again, I'd like Zanku to be around for some of the destroying we were mentioning earlier. So.
He's always in that leather and chainmail. And
Oh, well, Charmed won. I really thought Disney was going to win that.
I
But no.
actually did too, really. I'm surprised, but hey. Okay, final thing. One of the last thing. I know we've probably gone on far too long.
I know. This is like, you're going to have to like part 2 this or something.
Yeah, right. Tips for future white letters.
I was out being a force of good in the universe.
So what is your moral or lesson or advice that we got from this book?
Like, I don't know if I have any, really. I don't think I have any advice to give from this book, other than don't fuck around with flowers in the English countryside.
Right.
And if you're planning on coming to London, make sure you're not booked in for Wales.
By mistake.
Also would recommend. Yeah, like, I mean, make sure you know what country you're coming to. I would say is a good tip for future white lighters.
Nice. Good. Mine is try to be clear of your intent and aware of your emotions before making big decisions. For instance, casting love spells willy-nilly or asking your time-traveling boyfriend to stay with you when he shouldn't.
See, that was better advice than mine. So yeah. Think before you act, I think is a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's, take that away with you in life, I mean, not that I ever think before I act, but there you go. Take it with you.
Okay, so we finally reached the end. That was it. Woo! What a journey. Where can people find you on your socials? I
fucking warned you, didn't I? Well, yeah, thank you so much for having me on. Honestly, I've had a blast. I know we've gone on and on and on and on, but I was expecting it and I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes, worth it.
So, yeah, I am the Ben Midler on Instagram, but my pods are at Upon a Scream. That's for Once Upon a Scream. And at Upon a Queen pod. And that's for Once Upon a Queen. So yeah, give us a follow. Wherever you pod, we're on there every week, one way or another. And yeah, come give us a listen.
I'm there all the time. I love it. So definitely recommended.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you, honestly.
Yeah.
Had such a blast.
Me too. I'm so glad we did this. I'm so glad you came on. This is awesome. And you can follow this show, Words of the Witches, on Instagram and Words of the Witches on Facebook. We're on YouTube now, so I've been doing YouTube videos and posting them there if you feel like doing that. It makes it real nice to leave a comment quickly if you just don't feel like emailing. wordsofwitchespod@gmail.com. Yeah, so we'll see you in all those spots. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Yay! I actually have something I want to end with, doing a tagline at the end, so let me know if you like it. Your destiny still awaits. So that's gonna be our closing tagline now. Your destiny still awaits. I'm taking it. So
I love it.
Give you a little Grams action.
Yeah, I love it. I love a bit of Grams action.